Hi, I'm Dan Pearson. I'll be playing at the next Resonant. Hope you can come and check it out. So my background in music was I started playing drums at the age of 4, and I went to school, studied jazz, played in a lot of different bands over the years. And then I think about 92 I started getting into electronics and bought my first synthesizer, which was a Roland JV 1080. And another first bit of gear I bought was the Lexicon Jam Man. I was quite obsessed with Trilok Gertu. He's a pretty awesome Indian percussionist, drummer extraordinaire. So then I started getting into live looping and using synths with electronic drums and triggering and samplers, and just went from there. Well, I think I always have, ever since I was a child, I've always had music in my head. Like I've always got riffs running around in my head, you know, and it's just a matter of sitting down and just letting them flow out. It's like I feel like I'm a conduit for the ideas that are just flowing through me. You know, you can get influence from anywhere. You know, like I quite often, you know, seeing an artist that I haven't seen before, or you know, at festivals, it's really good. I do a lot of festivals, so you get to see a lot of really awesome artists, you know, doing cutting edge stuff. That's probably where I get the most inspiration these days. Probably my introduction to modular was about 15 years ago when I bought a Schwayman S1. That's pretty much my cold dead hand synth. And then I branched off into sort of getting more modular stuff, and then figuring out how to perform live. Like I'm not so much a traditional modular artist where I like to sort of compose everything on the modular. I'm more of a computer-based producer. I've always kind of used the modular as like a sound source more than anything, and most of the heavy lifting is always done in the computer. Yeah, 1010 Music, I'd started doing demos for them, and quickly realised that they'd be really good for live performance, you know, because my production style was always based around breakbeats, and since that was the first module to come out with slicing, I was right onto that and started corresponding with Aaron a lot. And then ended up doing some demos for them, and yeah, and that sort of branched out into other areas. I've been doing demos for Ilio more recently, and a few other software companies, and more coming up for 1010 Music as well. I'll be debuting this new synth module here that's by Pulse Synthesizers in Eltham. It's a granular synthesizer, a new one. It's got a really interesting sound to it. Granular is not something I've experimented heaps with, but I'm enjoying playing with this. The performance I'll be doing for Resonant is showcasing a lot of tracks I've produced over the last probably 20 years, mostly done on the computer. You know, they're broken down into all the basic components, and then I've loaded them into the 1010 Music modules, which has made it really awesome to be able to perform live. Also using a fader bank here, which is really cool. It gives me real-time control over 16 different elements, so that's really opened it up a lot. Makes it a lot more fun to sort of improvise, because it's a fairly structured sort of thing, you know, whereas most modular guys, it's all about improvising. It's all total improvisation. But this is going to be probably a bit more beat-driven, fairly heavy bass lines, and that's always been my style. Some of the tracks I'll be showing, like I've been doing a lot of touring and you know, being able to collaborate with some amazing musicians all over the globe, so it's awesome to have a chance to sort of showcase that. In particular, there's a few tracks I'm going to play that were a collaboration with a Balinese traditional orchestra, which comprises of like gamelan and angklung and a whole bunch of other really interesting instruments.